Everyone, I'm Chandni Taneja, and I work with vulnerable sections of the society, enabling them to help themselves, empowering them to reach their goals of self-reliance. And I've been in this NGO sector for the last 11 years. I would rather say my journey of seva, my journey of service, through the vehicle called Navjyoti India Foundation, which is a leading non-government, non-profit organization which is headed by Dr. Kiran Bedi. She is the founder member, the permanent general secretary of the organization, and we work with a mission to mobilize and harness the power of women, children, youth. The idea is to combat illiteracy, ignorance, gender discrimination. The ultimate aim is crime prevention through inclusive socio-economic development. So I just love reading. I love to work with people. I love to, I really feel very happy when I see smiles on the faces of the people that I work with and I work for. Academically, I have environment background. So I did my master's in environment management, and then 11 years back I joined Navjyoti. And yeah, it's been a great journey in Navjyoti, working right from the grassroots and now into the administrative and management level. Since my childhood, I always wanted to get into medical profession, and academically I was pretty good. I was scholarship holder in my school time, and and I'm talking 18, 20 years back, and when you were good in studies, you had to opt for science. But yes, somewhere back of my mind, I always knew that I had to get into medical profession. I wanted to become doctor, and I was really mad about it. I used to study a lot, doctor banna, doctor banna. And one, because I'd seen in my maternal side that so many doctors in my family, right from my maternal grandfather to all my cousins, pursuing their career, because I always considered that as a very noble profession. That was an opportunity for me to serve people. So I always wanted to do that, and that's the reason why I wanted to get into the medical profession. And unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, but I did not get through my medical entrance exams. And I literally dropped 1 year, to just
many of people.
Yeah, to just pursue my dream profession. And the second year also I could not get through it. In fact, some of my friends, they had got into those paid seats, which I plainly refused because of the upbringing that I had, and the value systems that I had from my family, that I'll not pay in to get into that noble and my dream profession. So one of my friend only who had got through, who had paid in for a seat, and she advised me, okay, you always mentioned that you wanted to get into the medical profession because you want to serve people. So there is a new course which is coming up in Delhi University, which is called Bachelor's in Environment Science, and probably through that you would be able to reach out to people and serve Mother Nature. So I thought, yeah, it sounds interesting, so let me try that, and I started going to Delhi University. The admissions were closed by the time when I started visiting the colleges. But there was this one college where the seats were still there, and I applied there, and the very same day my seat was confirmed because there was a 4th cutoff list that was going on. So I thought, okay, let me try this out, and then I guess there was no looking back. We come from a business family, and my father was a businessman, and we had seen ups and downs in our lives. So when I got into my college, I decided that I'll be self-reliant. I'll not be dependent on my parents. So I did a lot of part-time jobs with my college, and also volunteered a lot in NGOs. And when the result of my first year was out, I was pretty surprised, as much as my friends were, because they thought she was an easygoing person. We'd never seen her in library, and but how come she stopped the university? And it was not just 1 year, but another 2 consecutive years. So that was the time when I realized, it's not important to decide what you want to become. It's important to know what the purpose of your life is. If somewhere at the back of my mind, in my subconscious level, it was very clear that the purpose of my life was to serve people.
That's what you want.
That's what I wanted. So it's important to know what you want. It's important to know who do you want to connect with. It's important to know who you are. So even if you decide decide to, like I said, if you decide to, if you to support your family, and that's the purpose of your life, and you decide to choose a career which I call as home manager, that rather than being a housewife, or you decide that you want to give enough time to your family and have the earning which is just enough to be self-reliant, so you get into the teaching profession. So I think it's pretty fine. It's pretty fine. When I was doing my internship in my post-graduation, I came across a gentleman who was eating a sandwich in one of the government agencies which is supposed to do impact assessments. And that was the first day of my internship, and we were being introduced, and we came across this gentleman eating sandwich 10 o'clock in the morning, and he said, "Oh, so you want to get into environment profession?" We said, "Yes." "So why?" We said, "We wanted to serve the nation, we wanted to serve the society." He said, "बहुत आए बहुत गए, we will see क्या होता है, nothing will change." India में ऐसा ही होता है, that's what happens in India, so nothing is going to change. So those words are still there at the back of my mind, and I decided, no, I have to all the more get into this profession. So I was very persistent to pursue my career in the NGO sector. Right after completing my post-graduation, I applied in an NGO, and I got an interview call. Again, I was rejected in my first interview. The owner of the NGO, he opened the door for me. He was surprised to see me, and we had a conversation. And he said, "I'm sorry I called you." I said, "Sir, is there anything wrong?" So he said, "I was so impressed to see your covering letter that I forgot to see your resume, which mentioned fresher." So same thing, what Ranjana you faced, that here age was again my hindrance. And for another 20 minutes he literally counseled me that don't get into an NGO sector. This is not the place for you, and you should actually earn for yourself, get settled in life, get into corporate sector, get into some industry, and get into this sector only once you retire and you have enough money for yourself. And he gave me 2-3 books to read, and I came back.
Or how not to work in an NGO.
His experiences actually of working in the NGO, and I used to read a lot his books. I think networking, as I said, is all about building relationships, and building real relationships actually. So again, going back to Jala, she's handling the fundraising department of our organization, and she has to connect a lot with people, and she has to raise funds. So I always tell her, you're actually not raising funds, you're raising friends. And that really helps for us. So it's all about relationship. You don't have to go to parties at the end of the day to network, Even during those 8 hours, you should know your tools and techniques, and you should know to build relationships. I think that's very important, and that really works for us. At the same time, I would also like to highlight here the importance of mentors, which you earlier mentioned. I think it's very important to have mentors in life, and they are the ones who know your talent and your strengths and your abilities, and you really help you groom them, help you take you to the path of success. So, and I've been very fortunate to have mentors when I was a child, and in my mother, and during my growing up days, in my teachers. And today also I'm very fortunate, or a few of the fortunate ones, that I have a mentor even in professional life, Mr. Vinay, who's an expert in quality management, and who motivates you to go to that extra mile, to do just excel in whatever field that we have chosen. So mentors are also very important. One aspect that we normally ignore, we don't spend time with ourselves. That's also very important. We have to be our own friends as well. Whatever we like, as you mentioned, you like to go to theatre, gym, or exercise, yoga, meditation. Like personally for me, Vipassana, I practice Vipassana, and that has really worked for me. At times when you don't know where you're heading to, just cut off from all sources of information that you have, cut off from the, switch off all those channels which are distracting you, and just spend some time with yourself. We're talking about personal branding, and I think it's all about being ourselves. So we women are very happy just to be authentic, and that's what personal branding is all about. You have to be yourself. You don't have to, in the pursuit of success, you don't have to do self-promotions or try to copy others, try to emulate others. Just be authentic. I think that's what personal brand is all about. I think it's a full-time commitment to the journey of defining ourselves. You know, as a person, as a leader, as the impact that we create to serve others. So that's what personal brand to me is all about. So I really don't think that we have to go doing self-promotion.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very genuine question when we talk about work-life balance or juggling between personal life and professional life. It's a very genuine question, and it also reflects a lot of aggression of women when we ask this question. You know, I personally feel, Sushmita, there's nothing called work-life balance. You know, for every one extra hour that you spend in the office to complete an assignment, you have to compromise on that one extra hour at home, the time that you have to take out from your family life. Or if you plan to have 2 children, you know, you plan to deliver the second child, you want to shed off that extra responsibility from your job profile. And that is a fact. What is important is that accept this fact, you know, but I also believe that you don't have to be guilty about certain things. If you're not able to spend some time with your kids, maybe your girl child playing mama baby, or you know, playing football with your child, you don't have to be guilty about it. You have to see if you're spending the quality time with your child or with your family. That's very important. If you're not able to attend parent-teachers meeting every month, that's fine, that's perfectly fine. If you're able to attend once in 3 months, okay, you know, you're giving your best. I think that's very, very important. I really feel that, you know, it's not important to live a balanced life, it's important to live a full life. So whether you are there in that moment or not, that's very important. Whether you're enjoying that moment or not, whatever that moment is, that's very important. You know, I really see life as a seesaw. So if everything is balanced, I mean, we all have been on seesaw, right? And if it's balanced, then it's not working, you know? And that's what happens with life. So, and you don't even enjoy a seesaw, do we? We don't. So if one thing is up, the other goes down, and the other goes up, the second thing goes down, then that's the only way you enjoy life. So it's important to live full life than balanced life. But yes, enjoy each and every moment. What I feel is that, you know, we women, we are like water. Don't you think so? You know, we take the shape of every container that we are poured into. And we have a lot of strength, we have a lot of power, and we traverse a journey from mountains, hills, to plains, and then reaching out to sea. That's the destination that we're really looking for. And on our way, we try and carve our own paths, our own destiny, our own ways. I feel that all the women here are very, very successful. Because they have all this power, and I look forward to more interaction with you and sharing my journey in Navjyoti India Foundation.